Yes, everybody has returned back now. Shall we begin?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, we can.
Yes.
So, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We shall begin up with a new topic, that is autonomic nervous system and organization and its general features. So, just beginning up with the topic, this is a new one. Physical organization of a nervous system. We all know nervous system is divided into the central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system is about everything that is mojood in the center. That is the brain, the midbrain, the spinal cord. All of this is considered as a central nervous system. What is included in the peripheral nervous system is, we know that there are, as you can see these yellow diagrams, these nerves coming out, so many nerves coming out, going up to far distances. Okay. All these nerves coming out. Peripheral nervous system is all about cranial and spinal nerves. We also have various cranial nerves, 12 cranial nerves mojood in the head. And also we have these spinal nerves coming out. Spinal nerves coming out right here up till the spinal cord. These all. So we have cranial and spinal nerves. All of them are considered as peripheral nerves. Now, depending upon the function, this is depending upon the anatomy or function. Central and peripheral, anybody?
Anatomy.
Anatomy. Now, depending upon the function, that is it a sensory nerve or it is a motor nerve, we divide it into sensory division and motor division. Sensory division, as the ism says, sensory nerves or sensory division of nerves. Basically, it carries information to the central nervous system, as you see the arrows. It is carrying information to the central nervous system. Whereas motor division, all the information that reaches the central nervous system, that is the beauty of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that it reaches the central nervous system and our central nervous system decides what will be the best for us. Once that has been decided, that information is sent out from the central nervous system. And it is sent out to the motor division that would bring about an action because it goes to the target organ. Remember this, write it. Target organ. Everybody should write this so that you can remember. Motor division sends the information to the target organ. It can be as a muscle, it can be as a glands, anyone. Now, sending information to the target organ can be these target organs. Not all targets organs are under your control. Like, is your skeletal muscle under your control? Can you move your fingers, your hand?
Yes.
So some of the target organ, like our skeletal muscle, is under our control. Other target organs, like your heart is moving, beating. Can you control the beating of your heart?
No.
No. So cardiac muscle, you cannot control. Yeah, your intestinal muscle, smooth muscles are contracting. Your intestine is making juices. Can you control them?
No, we can't.
No. So there are target organs that we cannot control. Okay. And there are target organ like a skeletal muscle that we can control. So in motor division, there is something called as somatic nervous system that is supplying the target organ that we can control, especially the skeletal muscle. What we can control, the target organ that we can control, the skeletal muscle, is supplied by somatic nervous system. Whereas there are target organs that we cannot control. Those are supplied by automatic nervous system. I say it as automatic because it happens automatically. I am not controlling it. But the correct medical is not automatic, guys. It is
Autonomic.
Autonomic.
autonomic. So just as a remembrance, autonomic is automatic. It is not under your control. Is there a confusion about that autonomic nervous system is a sensory system or a motor system?
No, it's a motor system.
It motor system. Is autonomic nervous system central nervous system or peripheral nervous system?
Peripheral.
Peripheral nervous. Autonomic nervous system supplies organs that we can control or that we cannot control.
We cannot control.
We cannot control. So just by simple understanding, we have come to this level that we know about autonomic nervous system. Since the topic is about autonomic nervous system, you should know what we are going to study. So this whole the nervous system we have studied, what is what. There is a sensory division, there is a central nervous system, there is a motor division. In motor division, it can be somatic or it can be autonomic. That's what year one should be lazim knowing. Any doubt, any question to this slide? Yes, please. You can hold it or stuff. So actually the lungs must be having autonomic system and also must be having control from your mind, central nervous system to the lungs. That is a direct control that can be controlling. Once you want to hold it, you can hold it. Once you want to release it, you can release it. It can be having, yes, you have got a direct control on lungs. Once we talk of respiratory, we will talk in the detail. You have direct control on lungs for holding the breath for some time. Okay. Otherwise, breathing is automatic under autonomic control. Okay. How does this happen? The lungs, through lungs, we breathe in and breathe out. Do we need muscle to breathe in and breathe out? Yes, we need muscles to breathe in and breathe out. If you start sending a direct connection to those muscles through somatic, you can stop the muscle from breathing in and breathing out for a while. Okay. That is how you control the lungs with your voluntary effort. Otherwise, most of the time, it is under the autonomic control, breathing. Okay. Having said this, let's move up. If you have understood, we will be just focusing on the autonomic nervous system. It is a motor nervous system. Okay. Or we are talking in this slide as a whole of motor nervous system. Whole of motor nervous system is divided into somatic nervous system that supplies the skeletal muscle that is under our control, and also the autonomic nervous system that supplies the smooth muscle, cardiac muscle, glands that is not under our control. That's what they are saying from the previous slide. Having said this, one thing that you must be noting is that what is a ganglion? We have one neuron meets the other neuron and there is a synapse. This is one neuron meeting the other neuron, okay? And we have some bundle of cell bodies right here in this area where other neurons will be meeting those cell bodies. So simple. Collection of cell bodies has a outside the CNS is called as a ganglion. I repeat, collection of neuron cell bodies outside the central nervous system is called as a ganglion. Is that okay? Collection of neuron cell bodies outside the central nervous system is called as ganglion. Then somebody will ask, what will be the collection of cell bodies maujood in the central nervous system? Central nervous system itself is a bundle of collection of cell bodies. True or false? True. And if there are some special collections maujood in the central nervous system, those are called as?
Neurons.
No, ganglion is outside the central nervous system. I'm talking about inside the central nervous system.
Gray matter.
Is a gray matter. Very good. Another way I will come to that definition also. Gray matter. Yes, good.
Cell bodies.
Cell bodies maujood in the central nervous system in the special cases are called as nuclei, not a ganglion. Tayyab. Ganglion is peripheral nervous system. Simple. Ganglion is maujood in peripheral nervous system. It is maujood outside the CNS. So what do we see? The information from central nervous system, I keep it simple, to target organ. Can I bring the information? I'm really sorry for my mouse control. Can I bring the information directly from central nervous system to the target organ with Haza Wahid neuron only?
No.
Yes, I can connect, I can send a neuron starting from central nervous system and it would directly end on the target organ outside. Possible. Okay. Or effector organ outside. Central nervous system, do you see this cell body in the neuron, in the central nervous system? It carries kullu information and gives it to effector organ outside. This is the pattern of somatic nervous system. It deals with one neuron starting in central nervous system and ending on the target organ. That is our skeletal muscle. This is somatic nervous system. What about has a autonomic nervous system? There is a cell body in the central nervous system. It starts and it connects to another cell body. And then that cell body goes to the effector organ. So there it is one neuron system or two neuron system, autonomic nervous system.
Two.
So
It is two neuron system. What about somatic nervous system? It is one neuron system or two neuron system?
One.
One.
One neuron system. Somatic, which one of them is controlling, is under our voluntary control, conscious control?
Somatic, we can control it.
Somatic nervous system is under our voluntary control. Okay. Which of the system has got a ganglion? Somatic, autonomic.
Autonomic.
Autonomic. So these are some obvious things maujood in the slide that people cannot see till we tell them. Autonomic nervous system is a two neuron system. Autonomic nervous system has a ganglion maujood. Okay. Depending upon the type of neurotransmitters getting released and also from where do they start, from where do the first neuron start, okay, the autonomic nervous system is further divided into parasympathetic division and sympathetic division. Parasympathetic division and sympathetic division. Depending upon from where they start and depending upon what is the neurochemicals getting released. We will come to that in the later slide. From here, we know the difference between somatic and autonomic nervous system. Everybody is clear with that, correct?
Inshallah.
Yes.
Having said this, sympathetic division starts from thoracolumbar division, and sympathetic division, okay, they have there are stuff that you should go back and read. Generally, I discuss with diagrams that are much easier to tell you here. I mean, so whatever slides we have passed can be told in this white slide. Let's do it. Fine. So we are talking about autonomic nervous system, and this is a neuron that starts from the center nervous system. It is a motor neuron. It meets another neuron. This is neuron number 1. This is neuron number 2. And then on the target organ or effector organ, it releases a chemical called as acetylcholine. Okay. This neuron is starting from either cranial end, okay, or it can start from down below, okay, below this from the sacrum. So it can be a sacral end. So any neuron is starting from cranial and sacral ends, okay, right here, sacral, you see, this is the sacral end and this is the cranial end. Any neuron that is starting from cranial or sacral end of center nervous system, okay, that is a parasympathetic neuron. That is the definition. The definition of parasympathetic and sympathetic is anatomical. Only good doctors know this. Generally, whole of the medical science knows that it is about neurotransmitter, but that is a wrong concept. Sympathetic and parasympathetic is a anatomical distribution. If the primary neuron starts from cranial end or sacral end, lazim that autonomic nervous system is parasympathetic. If the neuron is going to start from thoracolumbar region, that is this one, the primary neuron starts from here. I'm only talking about autonomic nervous system, guys, okay? Keep in mind. If an autonomic nerve is starting from thoracolumbar region, that is this one that we are talking about, then we are talking about sympathetic. Okay. Generally, people confuse that. Generally, people and medical schools or maybe some tutors, unfortunately, did not tell you. Generally, people think that, okay, khalas, if it is acetylcholine, it is parasympathetic. That's how they go. If it is acetylcholine, it is parasympathetic. If it is norepinephrine, then it is sympathetic. That's how some of the students think. Yes, this will be true. This concept will be true 90%, 95% of the time. 5% of the time you will miss on this concept. So actually it is anatomical classification. Any doubt here in this slide?
Doctor, in the last one, the parasympathetic, there is no ganglion.
There is a ganglion, and I will show you where is the ganglion setting with the blue shade.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
This is a ganglion.
Doctor,
And since he has raised the question, all of them are effector organs here. Everybody agrees to this. All this is target organ or effector organ here, correct?
Yes.
True. Ganglion is near to the target organ. I tell ganglion is more near to the target organ in sympathetic or parasympathetic.
Parasympathetic.
Parasympathetic. Ganglion is very near to the target organ, parasympathetic. And sometimes ganglion is मौजूद on the target organ, right here. Maybe very near to the target organ, or maybe मौजूद just over the target organ, right? But ganglion lazim मौजूद, because we are talking about autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system is a 2-neuron system. The neuron before the ganglion is called as has a preganglionic. Now we are going to the medical terms that you should be knowing. I mean to say, and the ganglion baden the neuron baden the ganglion is called as has a postganglionic. But lazim there has to be a ganglion. Okay. Any more questions to this?
Doctor,
Yes.
what's the name of the middle region in spinal cord?
What's the name of the?
The middle region, the area in sympathetic neurons.
Sorry, I couldn't get it. You mean to say right here, this is a sympathetic
yes,
neuron?
TL, what's that?
Thoracolumbar. You have slides before. I will come to that. Have you understood the concept right here, what we have talked?
Yes.
Preganglion, sympathetic system is also called as cholinergic system. Parasympathetic system is also known as cholinergic system because it deals with acetylcholine. Parasympathetic system is also called as cholinergic because it deals with acetylcholine. Okay. Whereas sympathetic system is also sometimes called as adrenergic system because it deals with adrenaline. The another ism of adrenaline is norepinephrine. It is same as calling adrenaline. This is also called as adrenaline, ADR. The neurotransmitter has got two isms, norepinephrine or adrenaline. Noradrenaline, NOR, sorry.
Doctor, can I ask a question?
Yes. This slide has been held up to ask questions. Yeah.
Yes. Doctor, you said that the autonomic nervous system has two systems, right? Two neuron system.
It is a 2-neuron system, yes.
How? I didn't understand why it's one and why it's two. Why
it is two. Is this neuron system has got 2 neuron number 1 that is preganglionic and neuron number 2 that is postganglionic. This is a autonomic nervous system. Which one? Parasympathetic. Okay. Similarly, this one has got a neuron number 1 that is preganglionic, and this one neuron number 2 that is postganglionic. So this two is also a
maybe like takes 2 neurons to affect the target organ.
Exactly. That's what the concept was. I have given once I have compared somatic and autonomic.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
It needs one neuron to bring an effect, somatic, It needs two neurons to bring an effect as a autonomic. Clear? Shall we move, people?
Yes, we can move.
This is neuron A. This is neuron B. This is neuron C. Which of the following is a cholinergic system? Okay, just wait on getting a call. Which one is a cholinergic system? Everybody just think about it and tell me.
A and C.
Doctor, can you repeat the question?
That's all.
Yes, sorry for the call. Actually, we had a call from the labs in our college. Yeah, so
No problem. Doctor, can you repeat the question, please?
the question is which of the A, B, and C, okay? Which of the following neuron and autonomic nervous system is cholinergic? A, B, or C?
I think both A and
A.
C.
Both A and C. Both A and C. Okay. Which of the following autonomic nervous system has got a ganglion?
A and B.
A and B.
Both.
And C.
Which of the following
them.
all
All
of
of
them? Once
All
the
of
question
them.
asks, because autonomic nervous system has got a ganglion lazim. طيب. Which of the following autonomic nervous system, A, B, and C, has got a ganglion more close to the spinal cord?
B.
Somatic.
Sympathetic.
Parasympathetic one.
Sympathetic.
B.
B. B. More close to the spinal cord. I'm not asking more close to the target organ. I'm asking more close to the spinal cord. So this one.
Doctor,
more
the
close.
previous question, the answer is all. Is right?
All is
Okay.
all, because people are missing on the ganglion. This is neuron number 1, and we have a very sagir neuron number 2. So lazim, this is a ganglion. You know.
Okay.
Okay.
Doctor, why is B the answer?
Because it is more close. It is very close to the spinal cord.
I know, but is you say automatic, not sympathetic.
It is autonomic. I say autonomic nervous system, be it sympathetic, be it parasympathetic. Kullu, all of them will have a ganglion. Autonomic nervous system, lazim has a ganglion. That's the idea. Okay.
Doctor, sorry, can I ask, please?
Yes.
The
yes,
first,
go on.
the answer of the first part of the question was A and C. What was the question?
Which of the following is a cholinergic system? Which of the following is a cholinergic system?
Doctor,
Yes.
can we classify parasympathetic and sympathetic according to the length of the ganglioside from the spinal cord?
No, generally we do not classify it that way because there is a no fixed length. Okay.
Oh,
There is no fixed length, has a 1 centimeter or 2 centimeter. There is no fixed length. So that way you cannot classify. So generally the classification is anatomical. Okay. So with this
Okay.
we move forward. With this we move forward to our next slide, and that is about the components of autonomic nervous system. For the components of autonomic nervous system, nicely this diagram has shown up the parasympathetic side and the sympathetic side. Important thing to note is that there are organs in the body that has got a dual nerve supply as far as autonomic nervous system is concerned. Dual nerve supply. That's what you should note. Okay. Say, for example, eye has got a sympathetic supply and eye has got a parasympathetic supply and has got a sympathetic supply. Heart is supplied by parasympathetic nerves and heart is also supplied by sympathetic nerves. Gastrointestinal tract like stomach, pancreas, liver, gallbladder has got a parasympathetic as well as a sympathetic supply. So there are target organs in the body that are having dual nerve supply as far as autonomic nervous system is concerned. That's what you should be knowing. Having said this, this is again subdivision of autonomic nervous system that already we have taken. Is divided into parasympathetic and sympathetic. And this division is anatomical or depending upon neurotransmitter or what?
Anatomical.
Anatomical.
And that places you in the 5% of the people who are knowing this secret. Okay. And that's what your USMLE people are testing you. For example, let's see. This is thoracolumbar division, correct? This is the thoracolumbar part of the spinal cord. Whichever autonomic nervous system starts from thoracolumbar is sympathetic or parasympathetic?
Sympathetic.
Sympathetic. Now we have studied this way in our medical school. Let's say there were people who have studied, like if it is phe-acetylcholine, it is cholinergic, I mean to say parasympathetic. And if it is norepinephrine, it is sympathetic. Tayyib? This way also we can study depending upon neurotransmitters.
No.
Now, this is a nerve supply that is supplying the sweat glands, okay? But the neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. So
Yes.
once I give you this option, neurotransmitter at target organ is acetylcholine. So what type of nerve is this? Is it sympathetic or parasympathetic? If you go with this, if you go with the neurotransmitter, you would answer it as para. But the 99 percentile scorer will answer it as look to from where this nerve is coming, thoracolumbar. Lazim, this is a sympathetic nerve, not a parasympathetic nerve.
So the answer is
So if you have SH, it's
No.
sympathetic.
It is a special situation. So you don't have to go with the neurotransmitter, you have to go with the anatomy for division of parasympathetic and sympathetic. Okay. This is a special situation in which the nerve is sympathetic, as you see right here, but the neurotransmitter is
Acetylcholine.
acetylcholine. And acetylcholine is the major neurotransmitter for sympathetic or parasympathetic?
Parasympathetic.
Parasympathetic. That's why USML is making so many dollars. Like nobody bothered to clear this up. Okay.
Doctor, so parasympathetic always acetylcholine.
Parasympathetic, not always acetylcholine. That's what my answer is.
Okay.
Okay, so this my focus is sympathetic and parasympathetic is not dependent upon neurotransmitter, has a main neurotransmitter acetylcholine or norepinephrine or dopamine, not upon that. Sympathetic and parasympathetic depends upon from where the primary nerve arises. Is it arising from the craniosacral? Parasympathetic. Is it arising from thoracolumbar? Sympathetic. We had the slides before, writing so much of gigabytes. Sympathetic division, thoracolumbar. Okay. Similarly, parasympathetic, craniosacral. But actually, I don't prefer gigabytes because it doesn't put some image in my mind, and it is mushkila for me to remember in the exam. I generally go with these. I make my own mind maps, writing it down. And this is a photographic picture that I remember. The important thing is it is a 2-neuron system. Lazim, it has to have got a ganglion. This one is sympathetic because it is arising from thoracolumbar. This one is, and this one is parasympathetic because it is arising from cranial, has a sacral end. That way I remember. Anyways, you can go, but you have to answer me correctly. Okay. Coming to this one right here, this is, let us show you that don't get confused with the diagram. Still, it is with the thoracolumbar part till here. Okay. Thoracolumbar, and this is the sacral part. Sacral is the very last end, sacral. Thoracolumbar part. Over here, what you see is that there is a nerve supplying the adrenal medulla. You know, there are adrenal gland just mawjood over a kidney.
Yeah, epinephrine and secretes epinephrine.
This is our kidney, and just at the top of the kidney, each kidney, there is a gland called as adrenal gland. The center of the adrenal gland is called as adrenal medulla. Okay. Once it is stimulated, it releases epinephrine and norepinephrine. Okay. So, but this is not a 2-neuron system. This is a special case in which you are having only one neuron. This one. There is nothing. There is no second neuron. Adrenal medulla directly releases epinephrine and epinephrine into the blood. So that's why adrenal medulla is considered as a modified ganglion. So not much into this, just that is for your information. What you should remember is parasympathetic and sympathetic is a anatomical division. That's what you should be knowing. Having said this, quickly we move to the functions of sympathetic system. Functions of sympathetic system is fight or flight. Okay, either the person will fight the lion or will fly or will run away from the lion. That is the sympathetic system basically deals with stress of our life. Sympathetic system. Parasympathetic system is a system of happy times, rest and digest. No exams, no grades, no worries. Okay, rest and digest. Khalas. Parasympathetic. Sympathetic one deals with the any kind of stress. Coming to the target organs and what are the effect of parasympathetic and sympathetic. Over here we have written the target organ and over here we have written the effect. So on the heart, parasympathetic decreases the heart rate, decreases the force of contraction, whereas sympathetic increases the heart rate, increases the force of contraction. The main organ was the heart. There are other organs also like GI, like a bronchus. Okay, bronchus is maujood in the lungs. It would open up the airway. It would open up the airway, bronchodilation. It would open up the airway, sympathetic. Bronchoconstriction, as the ism says, constriction. It would increase the bronchoconstriction. That means it would close the airway. On GI tract, what would be happening on the movement of the GI tract, secretion of the GI tract, movement of the GI tract, both will increase if parasympathetic is stimulated. Movement of the GI tract has increased and secretion in the GI tract had increased. This happens in diarrhea. Whereas movement and secretion both have decreased, this would cause constipation. And this is the effect of sympathetic drugs or sympathetic stimulation. What on the urine flow, urine outflow? Parasympathetic will increase the urine outflow and sympathetic would decrease the urine outflow. What about the glands? Parasympathetic will increase the secretion of glands, whereas sympathetic will decrease the secretion of glands. What about the eyes? That is the pupillary tone. The pupils constrict. I hope so. The brown part in our eyes is called as the pupils. Okay. So the pupils would constrict. That is called, in medical term, is called as meiosis. If I draw an eye, we have got a very small pupil. Okay. Whereas right here, it will be a large pupil. It will be a large pupil dilatation. This is called as mydriasis under the effect of sympathetic. So we have talked about urinary bladder, glands, eyes, lungs, GI tract, heart. So just read it through once nicely and you will get the effect. Autonomic nervous system, receptors and their functions. What are the receptors and what are their functions? Receptors for neurotransmitters are nothing but protein or glycoprotein. Okay. And they are maujood in the receptors are मौजूद pre-synaptic or post-synaptic neuron membranes?
Post synaptic.
Post-synaptic. Activation of receptors is associated with membrane permeability, ion transfers, okay? And also they can have special effects on postsynaptic cells. So that is about two major families of neurotransmitters we know, okay? One is the receptor with intrinsic ion channels, okay? And other one is the G protein. Other one is the G protein right here, G protein linked. Receptors can be cholinergic. Once the neurotransmitter is acetylcholine, the receptor that would respond to acetylcholine is cholinergic. Acetylcholine receptors can be of two types. One is nicotinic and one is muscarinic. Muscarinic is alatul mawjood in whole of the body. Nicotinic is fi mawjood in skeletal muscle neuromuscular junction. Have we studied this?
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
And nicotinic is mawjood in ganglionic cell and also in CNS. So in ganglion, it is mawjood. Have we studied ganglion today?
Yes.
Yes.
Parasympathetic.
Two
And
places, yes, two places where nicotinic receptor, two places where the nicotinic receptor is fi mawjood is skeletal muscle neuromuscular junction and ganglionic cell. Okay, so you do not have to make this mistake about telling anything in wrongly that you know already. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes, please.
The acetylcholine receptors, they're not always cholinergic, right?
Acetylcholine receptors. Acetylcholine receptors. No, acetylcholine receptors are cholinergic always.
What about when they're, as we said in the past?
It won't be in cholinergic. Acetylcholine receptors can be muscarinic or nicotinic. Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. So that is an idea.
Excuse me, doctor, the muscarinic ones are all over the body.
Muscarinic generally in CNS, in GI tract, in heart, most of the places, muscarinic. This is just a diagram for you, for your reference. You don't have to really go through that. Muscarinic acetylcholine receptors, it is grouped muscarinic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay. मौजूद in GI tract and CNS, मौजूद in the heart, मौजूद in the exocrine gland. Yes. Yes, we have Hassan. Anybody has raised the hand? Yes, what it is?
I think it's Dr.
Dr. Saif, salam alaikum. Good morning.
Walaikum salam. Good morning, doctor. Just
How
give
are
me
you?
four. Alhamdulillah.
No. I'm just to confirm. Is this the same Zoom for the girls?
No.
Anyone has because I need to start by 10 o'clock. Anyone could put a link for the girls, please? Is it possible? Do you have it?
For girls, we don't have. Maybe female coordinators will. If anybody, any leader, do you have any link for girls or any connection?
Should I send it here in the chat?
Yeah, you can write it in the chat, so I can.
Give me a few minutes. I'll go bring it out.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry to disturb you, Dr. Saif.
Thank you.
Because this is what the link I was giving.
Okay. No
you.
issues. Anytime.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Okay. So coming back to our lecture, nicotinic acetylcholine receptor. This is how our ultrastructure looks like. Do we really need to know? Just we know that 5 subunits and these structures not that important. this one is important, that there are subclasses, and the muscarinic receptor is modued in the GI tract, the heart, the exocrine glands, the CNS, and it is basically a G protein linked receptor. Also, we can, the same diagrams, just you can go through. Cholinergic receptor, if we compare it, where are nicotinic receptor? What is the site where they are modued? So muscarinic and nicotinic has been compared nicely. What type of receptor they are? One is inotropic, one is G protein coupled. What is the mechanism of their action? How do they work? What neurotransmitters activated? Both of them are activated by acetylcholine and nicotine. And also they have given the blockers. Really, you don't need to remember the blockers because that will be more of the pharmacology. What you need to know is the site and what is the nature. Okay, these two things are really important. Coming to adrenergic receptors are of two types, alpha and beta. Further, alpha is divided into alpha 1 and alpha 2, and beta is divided into beta 1, beta 2, and beta 3. Having said this, all the alpha and beta receptors are G protein linked G coupled receptors. Having said this, there is a comparison between all these alpha 1, alpha 2, beta 1, beta 2, beta 3. If you see, we have not discussed beta 3 because it is just present on the lipid cells, okay, fatty cells, so we don't go with that. The major action are for alpha 1, alpha 2, and beta 1, beta 2. Right here, what I would like to show you is alpha 1, okay. Alpha 1 is mojood on the blood vessels. Blood vessels, okay, alpha 1. How does everybody knows how a alpha looks like? Something this way, correct? Is this an alpha?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And this is a blood vessel. Tayyab, I place one alpha here. I have placed an alpha on the blood vessels. Do you see in the diagram, guys?
Yes, clear.
Yes. What if my son pulls this? Both the strings is pulled up. This alpha receptor is activated. What it will do? Will it constrict the vessel or will it dilate the vessel?
Constrict.
Constrict the vessel. So where is alpha 1 mojood? It is mojood on the vessel. What is Fish-Shugal of alpha 1? Constriction of vessels. If you constrict the vessel, what it will do to the blood pressure? Will it increase or decrease?
Increase.
Increase. That is the Shugal of alpha 1. Alpha 2 is very special because as we have studied in synapse, okay, this is presynaptic, that is neuron number 1. And this is another neuron system, postsynaptic. This is neuron number 2. Generally, we have receptor and the information is flowing this way. This is the one that releases neurochemicals. Okay. Where do you have receptors for these chemicals? In neuron number 1 or neuron number 2?
Neuron number 2.
Neuron number 2. But also in some special case, we can have a receptor for these in neuron number 1. And this is a special case where you have a receptor, something this way, in neuron number 1 itself, where this neurochemical can bind. Okay. And this acts as a brake for this first neuron itself. Once this chemical binds, it would slow up the release of chemical. Once this bind, it would slow up the release of chemical. This happens in adrenergic system, and the receptor that would slow the release of chemical, okay, is the receptor that is alpha 2. It is inhibitory in response, located presynaptic neuron. All receptors are postsynaptic. This is the one that is presynaptic. Okay. Beta 1. Yes. Beta 1 is maujood on the heart. Okay. Beta 1 is present on the heart, located on the heart. Okay. Increase the rate and force of contraction of cardiac muscle. Beta 1. Beta 2 is maujood in the bronchus. That means the respiratory system, the lungs. Bronchus. Beta 2 maujood in the bronchus and the visceral walls. Beta 2. Okay. If there is a confusion between beta 1 and beta 2, how many heart do we have?
One heart.
So beta 1 is on heart. How many lungs do we have?
Two.
Lungs.
So beta 2 is maujood in the bronchus, not on the heart. Simple. Correct. This is just ways to remember. All of them are adrenergic receptor. All of them will respond to epinephrine and norepinephrine, but their locations are different. They are maujood at different places. Okay. This is how you should remember these stuff.
Doctor, I have a question.
Yes.
When alpha 1 increases contraction of arteries, the pressure in blood will be raised, okay? High.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thanks.
It is same. Have you put the hose pipe and watered the plant or washed your cars? Okay. What if you press the tip of the hose pipe? Once you press the tip of the hose pipe, what happens? The pressure increases or decreases?
Increases.
Increases. That's what is happening. If you contract the arterioles, pressure will rise. Simple.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, fine. So we close up right here, guys. This, yes, please. Beta 3 is maujood on the fatty tissues, lipid cells, and the sugar is lipolysis. Okay, that's why we have not considered it right. Beta 3. Okay. Okay, so thank you, everybody. This lecture is important. Actually, initially it was 2 lectures that has been clubbed up. That's why so much of information. So go back, but still we have told you what the books have not written for you. Okay, the secret points. Okay, so just go back, write it yourself in your secret books, because those will be the questions jumping up in the sniper questions coming up in the step exams. They keep on testing very good information. So I expect that everybody goes back and everybody has started reading from their books. Over these, like these kind of slides, it is okay to have a mind map this way, but you have to read it, because I have already read 5 of the physiology books. So I mean to say that would be very unfair that you do not read even one. I can tell you the concepts, but the concept to be there in your mind lifelong, you have to read it from some resource. Okay.
Okay. Guyton
Okay.
is a good reference.
Guyton is good, Ganong is good, even Sembolingam is good. Then some people are going with some series like BRS series, but that is too short. As a reference book, these are good, no doubt.
Okay. There is a bucket of Guyton is a short.
Guyton is good. There is Sherwood is good. Rods and Flanzer is also good. Guyton short book, yes, it does not has pictures. Okay. People who are not very bothered about pictures but can read it, it is short. Yes, handbook is short. You can even read from that. Myself, generally, I need a picture because I'm not good at drawing. So generally, I used to need a picture in which I used to make my mind map. What I used to read, I used to put it in picture form so that it is there in my head. So different minds train differently. There's no issue about that. So yes, you can go with a pocketbook also. That has got less of extra writing part. It has only talked the concepts. That's true.
Okay, thanks a lot, Doctor.
Okay, so we stop here already. It's time for your other lectures. So we are stopping here. Okay. Thank you, everybody.
جزاك الله خير.